no jail time for BC man with relatively modest, I'm going to say, child abuse images collection.
Okay.
Judge rules. A BC man convicted of child abuse images has been allowed to serve his sentence in the community, in part because of the relatively modest, imagine saying that about child abuse images,
As if
size
there's
of
such a
his
thing.
collection. Yeah. One is too many. One has been created through the abuse of a child.
Mhm.
And you are now someone who consumes it, creating and ensuring the market for more. Mark Keenan, everybody should know his name, pleaded guilty to possessing and distributing child abuse images in Kelowna court, and he was handed a conditional sentence of 2 years less a day. He'll be under house arrest for the first 18 months of his sentence, then bound by a 6 p.m. curfew for the remainder. They searched his home in 2018 after receiving concerning information about his activity on the social media website Tumblr. Tumblr's a cesspit, by the way,
Yeah.
which found 6 images on his electronic devices depicting boys between the ages of 9 and 16. In his May 2 sentencing decision, which was posted online, Judge Andrew Tam noted the size of Keenan's collection sets this case apart, does it? From others cited in court, some of which involved hundreds or even thousands of images and videos seized from other sex offenders. So the size of the collection has often been held as an aggravating factor, Tam wrote, so it stands to reason that a modest collection, while not a mitigating factor, could nonetheless distinguish it from other cases. And then it goes on to detail what was in the images. I hope that I'm not even going to talk about it because I don't think it matters.
They're bad. They're just bad. Let's just say they're terrible. Yep. Yep.
John Rustad, leader of the Conservative Party of BC, says this judge should be disbarred. If you prey on children in BC, we should send you to prison.
Mhm.
Yes.
Agreed. Agreed. And this piece of news comes out within 24 hours of our federal government saying to us, we are creating a country where everybody should be free to live as they are. Well, that includes, okay, if we're including everybody, okay, if we're including everybody, that includes people that have been convicted of child abuse images. Okay, not
Horrible.
everybody should be encouraged to live exactly as they are, and yet our federal government raised a flag yesterday on Parliament Hill and said exactly that thing. Everybody should be allowed to live exactly as they are and have pride
This
in the
guy's
way that
getting
they live.
credit for being caught early, it sounds like.
That's
Because
exactly what happened. Yep,
they
that's
said
exactly
his
what happened.
activity was limited to a few weeks. Now that's all that we know.
Well, and it's also limited by the investigator's ability to follow the bouncing ball of his digital life. Who knows what else was happening in the background, if anything? But there could have been other activity that they missed.
Oh, for sure. There always
So
is.
yeah.
That on the screen there was the judge, the sentencing judge. So I did a little Googling,
Oh,
as I do. And this is what I wrote this morning. I went through a couple of the judge's other rulings, just
mm,
very recent ones, not
tell me.
like going back just like a year and a half. The judge who gave relatively modest child abuse images offender house arrest sent a man to jail for lying to the court. So 1 year in jail for disrespecting the court, 0 days in jail for possessing child abuse materials, and a slap on the wrist for another serial predator. Welcome to Canadian justice. So what I said was, in May 2025, Tam sentenced Mark Keenan, who was caught with 6 images of child abuse, to 0 days in jail, citing the relatively modest size of the collection. The same spring, Tam sentenced Troy Alvin Ruck, a man who lied about a family emergency to delay sentencing and then sent inappropriate text to a victim, to 358 days in jail, not for violent crime, not for sex crimes, but for misleading the court. But the most disturbing of Judge Tam's recent rulings might be the case of Taylor Dewick, a repeat child abuse offender who is described in court as almost certain to reoffend. Tam acknowledged the danger Dueck posed, and yet he got less than 1 year of jail time. So if we scroll down, the Taylor Dueck is a man with a long and well-documented history of child abuse offenses. Was on probation when he attempted to assault an 11-year-old girl at a Kelowna equestrian center. This wasn't his first time. In 2014, he served 4.5 years in prison for multiple assaults on teenage girls. In 2022, he served another year for interference. And then if we keep scrolling, I think he was out on release while he was charged again for trying to harm a girl. Yeah, he was out on probation. So they said that he's got a low IQ, but they also noted that he is almost certain to reoffend.
So this is your problem, Canadian public. This is your problem now. Yeah, he is your problem. Sorry, you're just going to have to deal with it.
Reoffending was, quote, all but inevitable. He only got 2 years for offending while out on probation, while a repeat offender of multiple offenses. This is what this same judge sentenced him to. But if you disrespect the court by lying to it, and look, I'm not giving anybody
a free pass
on lying to the court, but I feel like these offenses against children should be a lot more strict and more harsh than what you get for lying to the court.
Yeah, because the potential for harm
yeah,
is just
I put it
much.
all right there. I put it all there so that you can see.
Yeah.
These are the recent sentences of this one judge. So is it any surprise that he said the things that he said? Probably not.
Probably not. And he's a perfect example. Justice, what is it? Andrew Tam is a perfect example of the kind of justice that we would vote out in the new country for making terrible, awful decisions and having the entire thing upside down. Because his profession or his workplace is disrespected. He throws a guy in jail for a year, but children who are harmed and traumatized for the rest of their lives watch their abusers walk free to do it again and again and again and again. And the families of these children that were abused by the men that Justice Andrew Tam let free, they are going to have to suffer the ramifications for Justice Andrew Tam's decisions forever.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example of why we must have elected justices in the new country.
This family will be re-traumatized by the sentencing.
Oh, without question. Yeah. Without question. Victims' rights in Canada,
they don't exist.
I mean, they do not exist. So add that to the long list of things that we are going to fix when we get the heck out of this festering crap hole of a country.
Let's face it, Canada's economy isn't heading in the right direction. Inflation's eating away your savings, and government debt is out of control. No politician is going to fix that overnight. With Guildhall Wealth, you can hold real physical gold and silver inside your RRSP. It's a time-tested way to protect your retirement and take back control of your wealth. Call 1-877-8-SILVER or visit guildhallwealth.com/rebel to request your free investor kit. And hey, make sure to mention Rebel News.